Hey guys, I hope that I'm live right now. If you guys are able to listen me properly, as well as there's no issues with the audio or the video, please let me know. Hey guys, I hope that I'm live right now, guys. If you guys are able to listen me properly, as well as there's no issues with the audio or the video, please let me know. All good? No issues whatsoever, right, guys? Okay. Okay, great, guys. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay. So, in the last class, I think so, we have written some code. If I remember it correctly, we have written the main function itself. We have written the const board. We have written how to print the board, user one, user two, turn itself. We were at analyze board, right? We were at analyze board itself. That is what we'll be looking forward for in our today's class. सर क्लास कल क्लास क्यों नहीं हुआ यार, एक मीटिंग में फंस गया था इसके कारण से. ठीक है. Okay. From today onwards, some of you might have started getting calls regarding the online internship. That is the 13,000 fixed plus 7K variable internship that I have told you guys, right? I've told you guys about the internship, right? Have I told you guys about the internship? Do you guys remember that? Yes. So from today onwards, some of you guys would have start getting the calls as well for the same. So please make sure that if you're getting the calls, so pick it up. Okay. And one more thing right over there. So first we are going to go further with people who are graduates. Okay. So those students who have filled up in the attendance form that they are already graduated from college, these are the first people that we will be calling for joining the internship. Okay. So that would be it. And yeah, so this is a separate internship. This is actually where there is a stipend and everything as well. So for this, those students who are available between 2 to 9:30, we will be selecting only those students itself. And once that has been done, then we will move further with the fourth year, then the third year, and then the second year. So it will be a slow and steady process. We are not going to call everybody at once. We don't have that big of a workforce. Okay. So once that is done, we'll move on from right over there. So let's continue with our class, guys. Let's continue with our class. Let me share my screen with you guys first of all. Pop out chat. Let's put this up on the left hand side. Let's make this a little bit smaller. Okay, present, share screen, entire screen share. I put myself on the left hand side bottom. Okay, so I think so. You guys should be able to see the screen clearly as well as the code. Let me just refresh the particular page. Is it a target based internship? So 13K is fixed. There is no target for 13K. Okay. But the rest of the 7,000 that is there, that is on top of the 13K, that will be target based. So for those students who will be performing exceptionally well, they'll be given an additional 7,000 rupees per month. Otherwise, the fixed stipend for the internship is 13,000, in which 12,000 is for your stipend and 1,000 is given to you guys for your Wi-Fi and your SIM cards. So if you want to get them new, that is the reason why. Okay, so that is there. So I think so. The screen should be clear to everybody present in the boot camp, right? And there is no registration fee for that. It is a proper internship with a stipend based internship. So there will be interviews right with there. Then there will be a training period of 10 days. Students who will spend the entire 10 days throughout the training period will be the ones that will be onboarded. Okay. Okay. So right over here, guys, as you're able to see, this is what we have coded in our previous days. Okay. And we will be working upon the analyze board today. So you guys remember, what does the function analyze board do for you? What does the function analyze board do for you? Do you guys remember that? Tuition that is for a separate training and internship, that is different tuition RK. That is for if you want to join the okay. So guys, try to understand this. The business associate or the business development associate internship that is there, that has no fees for it. It is an internship where there is a stipend that is 13,000 rupees fixed per month plus 7,000 rupees as incentive. There's no stipend, there's no registration fees or something for that. Okay, there is another particular product of DevTown, that is training and internship, that is there in the field of data science, full stack development, data structures and algorithms. That is paid, that is having a registration fees that you will have to pay to join that. But for the business development associate, that is the BDA position internship that is there, there's no registration fees, nothing. Okay, it is going to be having fixed stipend of 13,000 rupees per month plus 7,000 rupees in incentive per month, and it is going to be completely online. So I think so that makes it very clear, guys. Okay. Okay, so let's please focus upon the particular code right now. Okay, I don't want you guys to be focused upon anywhere else. I just wanted you guys to be informed about it so that you guys know. But let's focus upon the code right over here. So do you guys remember what does the analyze board function does for us? Like we have to write the function down. We haven't written the function down. But do you guys remember what does the analyze board function do for us? Can somebody let me know? uh, RVS creation, you are partially correct, not entirely. Okay. Anybody else, guys? Anybody else? What does the analyze board function do for us, guys? Please let me know. Check the final result. Absolutely right. So analyze board function basically checks in the current state of the board whether somebody is winning or losing. Okay, that is what it is saying. If somebody is winning or not, that is what it is trying to like check. That's all. Okay, that's it. Nothing else. Okay, whether somebody has won or not. That is what the analyze board function is trying to check. Now, if X has won, if X has one right over there, then we'll be returning a particular -1. Okay, if X is winning, then we'll return -1. If O is winning, then we will be returning 1. And if nobody is winning, okay, it might be a draw. It might be like the game is still going on. Nobody has won up till this point of time. Then we'll be returning a 0 right over there. So that is what is going to happen in the case of our analyze board. Now, in this particular game, that is the game of tic-tac-toe, how does somebody win? The game of tic-tac-toe, how does somebody win? They can either win, okay, if the all the rows are the same, right? They can either win if all the columns are the same. They can either win if both the diagonals, if either one of the diagonals are the same. Am I right or wrong? Okay, rows, all the rows are the same, all the columns are the same, or one of the diagonals is the same, right? Only then somebody can win in this particular game, right? Am I right or wrong, guys? So let's try to mathematically represent the condition in which somebody is winning. Okay, mathematically, let's try to determine how to determine if somebody is winning. So we know this, that each of these squares that are there, they are represented by an index, right? So this is the 0th index. This is the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. These are the indexes that are there. Am I right or wrong, guys? Please let me know. These are the indexes that are there. Yes. So, in which particular, what are the particular patterns or what are the particular indexes that need to be the same so that the rows are the same? So, if all the elements present at the 0, 1, 2 index are the same, then that means somebody has one. If it is all X's or if it is all O's, then somebody has one. But if it is all empty, that shouldn't be the case. It should be the same, but should not be equal to 0, right? If all the elements present at the 0th index, the first index and the second index are the same, then we have somebody who is winning. Secondly, we have to check for rows 3, 4, 5. We also have to check for 6 comma 7 comma 8. What about columns? What about columns, guys? If the elements present at the 0th, 3rd, and 6th index are the same, then that means somebody has one, right? Then if somebody is present at the 1st, 4th, and 7th index, then somebody has one. If somebody is present at the 2nd, 5th, and 8th index, then somebody has one, right? What about diagonals? If somebody is present at the 0th, 4th, or 8th element, then somebody has one. If somebody is present is same at the 2nd, 4th, and 6th element, then somebody has one, right? So if any of these are the same, if any of these elements are the same, then we can determine very easily that somebody has won this game. So what do we want to do? We want to go to every, so we can, what we can do is, this looks like all these particular elements, they actually look like smaller lists, right? If I remove these curly braces right over here, and I replace them by square brackets, I replace each of these by a square bracket itself. This looks like a lot of smaller lists, right? Lists with 3 elements, a lot of lists with 3 elements. Are you guys able to see this? And if I check each of these lists as one unit, take each of these smaller lists, I call them as smaller lists. Okay, I take them as one element, one list. This one list is just one element itself. Then I can put all these smaller lists into a larger list right over here. This is a larger list right over here, in which this larger list basically contains all these smaller lists as the elements. All these, Vibhuti, we are not here to learn a lot about Python. If you want to learn about lists, sets, and tuples, I've already given you the notes for learning Python. You can just refer that. I've already put it right over there. But right now, we are just focused upon the project itself. I don't have that much time to explain you guys all the lists, sets, tuples, dictionaries. I don't have time for that. But in the notes, I have carefully mentioned everything with examples, what are the differences and everything. You can just go and study by the notes itself. Okay, so right over here, guys, as you're able to see, we can see that the larger list is basically a list with smaller lists, where the larger list contains elements that are of smaller size lists itself. So what if I want to, so let's call this larger list. Okay, let's remove this and let's try to organize this a little bit more. Control X, Control V. Let's take the next one. Control X. I'm just trying to organize it a little bit, guys. Yeah, Devanand, I understand your time is very precious, but try to understand that I am not here for some other purpose, right? Even I have a job. I do this on a part-time basis because I like taking up boot camps. I apologize for the same that you faced an issue due to us, but yeah, yesterday there was no boot camp. So let us call this as the list CB. Okay, let us call this as a list CB itself. Okay, champions board. Okay, so this champions board basically contains a list. It is a larger list of smaller lists inside of it. Each of these elements are smaller lists. So what will be the particular code to access this smaller list, guys? How can I access this smaller list from this bigger list called as CB? Can somebody let me know? What will be the code that I have to write to access this smaller list, guys? How can I access this smaller list, guys? Can somebody let me know what will be the code to access this smaller list? If you guys are not able to answer this, okay, please try to understand this. If you are not able to think about an answer for this, I think so you have wasted a lot of time in this boot camp. I will suggest not attending this boot camp any longer. Okay, I think so you should go and do something else. If you're not able to answer a simple question like this, okay, I'll suggest either you should find some place else to study because this is not working out for you guys. Okay. Or if coding is just not a cup of tea for you, you can just quit it in its entirety. But my suggestion would be maybe I'm not able to teach you guys that well. So you should find some other place to learn from because if you're not able to answer such a simple question, then it is going to be a hell lot of problem for you guys. A hell lot of problem. Okay. Okay, for those who have answered it correctly, yes, the answer is correct. Okay, it is going to be CB and then 2. Okay, index is 0, 1 and 2. So this particular smaller list is present at the index 2. So CB2 will be the name for our smaller list, that is 6, 7 and 8. CB2 will be the will be the name for a smaller list, that is 6, 7 and 8. Now, let's assume the name of 6, 7 and 8 is Z. Okay, Z is equals to CB2 is equals to 6, 7 and 8. So if I want to access this particular element in terms of Z, how will I access it? In terms of Z, if Z represents CB2, okay, that represents our smaller list, that is 6, 7 and 8. How can I, okay, how can I represent my element 7 by using the name Z? Guys, many of you guys are counting wrong. Okay, not very good. We will represent it by Z1, right? Very good. So this particular element will be represented by Z and then the index 1 along with it. Now Z represents CB2, right? Z also represents CB2. So we can replace Z right over here by CB2. So we can write CB and then 2. Okay, not exactly like this. CB 2 and then 1 because Z is represented by the CB2. Z is represented by the CB2. So how can you read this right over here? That if I want to get access, okay, if I want to get access to this particular element, this 7 right over here, I want to get access to this 7 in terms of CB, then I will write CB, then for 0th element, first element, second element, that is the second particular smaller list according to index. And then inside of that particular smaller list, we are having 0 and 1. So the first particular, the element that is present at the first index, that is what is going to represent this 7. So if you see this, we are able to see something very clearly right over here that I can print out all the elements present inside of this particular uh, CB list itself. How? The two particular elements that I'm taking in right over here, right? The two particular elements that I'm taking in right over here, let me draw it out for you guys. CB, index of list, index of elements. Can I write it down in this particular manner, guys? Can I write it down in this particular manner? Yes, are you guys able to understand up till this point of time, guys? Please let me know. So what do I have to check right over here, guys? What do I have to check? I have to check if the elements present inside of the first three particular letters. Let us check this for this. Okay, 0, 1 and 2. Okay. So 0 will be represented by what? In this particular manner, in terms of CB, how will 0 be represented as? How will 0 be represented as in terms of CB? In terms of CB, how will 0 be represented as? CB00, very good. Okay, so it will be CB00. 1 will be represented as CB01. 2 will be represented as CB02, right? These will be the representation of these three elements. So let us try to map it out. Okay, if board 0 is equals to board 1 and board 1 is equals to board 2. In this particular scenario, somebody has 1, right? If 0 is equals to 1 and 1 is equals to 2, right, on the board, these are indexes, right? 0, 1 and 2, these are indexes right over there on the board. So if board 0 is equals to board 1 and board 1 is equals to board 2, in that particular case, somebody has 1. Am I right or wrong, guys? Think before answering. Am I right or wrong? Think before answering. Think, guys, think. Think before answering, guys. Am I right or wrong? So those who are saying yes, you are wrong. Okay? Because I am wrong. Why? Because if on all these three places, if it is 0, 0 and 0, then board 0 is equals to board 1 is equals to board 2 as well. That is also a scenario. We don't want it to be 0, 0 and 0, right? That means it should not be empty. That is what I'm saying. If all these three positions are empty, that shouldn't be the scenario, guys. That is the reason why we have to add another particular criteria right over there. That is, and board 0 is not equal to 0. We should also add one more thing right over here, guys, that board 0 is not equal to 0. So in that particular sense, if board 0 is not equal to 0, that means it can either be only 1 or minus 1. And we are also checking if board 0 is equals to board 1 and board 1 is equals to board 2, then it is basically somebody has 1, either X has 1 or O has 1 right over there. Right? That is what we want to check. Now let us replace these zeros, ones and twos right over here by their CB values. Okay, by their CB values, CB00, CB02 and CB01. We have to replace them by their CB values right over here, guys. So let us do that. Now that is going to be a painstaking task for us. I will rewrite it. If board CB00 is equals to, or let us first check the not equal to 0, not equal to 0. Just put this in a bracket. And board CB00 is equals to board CB01 and board CB01 is equals to board CB02. In that particular scenario, this is the first particular condition that we are able to check right over here. Now there are one way of doing this is that we'll write this down for all the rows, all the columns and all the diagonals itself. But that is a very, very, very shit way of doing it. Are these indexed by default? Absolutely yes. That is the reason why we are using it. Okay. So that is a very bad way of doing it, that for all the rows, all the columns and all the diagonals, we are writing this kind of shitty ass code itself. So what can we do? This is where the concept of loops come into picture. Here we are going to first iterate over all the elements present in the larger list, and then we are going to iterate over all the elements present in the smaller list right over there, right? So I can rewrite this as this. Okay, let us rub this particular aspect so that I'm able to make some room for myself. So I can write it this like for int I, sorry, C++ का code चालू कर दिया. For I in range 9. So I is going to take up values from 0 to 8, right? For I in range 9, I is going to take up values from 0 to 8. Now these are the elements in the larger list. How many elements are there? 9 elements are there. Oh, sorry. How many elements are there? 3, 3, 6, 6, 2, 8. 8 elements are there. So I need to change this to 8. Sorry guys, sorry. This is going to be 8 and this is going to be 7. Okay, so the number of elements in the list CB, the larger list, how many elements are there? 3 rows, 3 columns, and 2 diagonals. That is 8 elements that are there. We need to go over all the elements present in the larger list. We need to go over all the elements present in the larger list, guys. There are 8 elements, 3 rows, 3 columns, and 2 diagonals, right? So I is taking up values from 0 to 7. These are the indexes of the bigger particular list itself. So for example, right now the value of I is 0. Okay, when you enter for the first time in this for loop, the value of I is 0. We'll put another for loop inside of it. For j in range 3, we'll take up again another particular for loop inside of it. That is for j in range 3, guys. Okay. So for j in range 3, now what will happen is first I ka value is 0. Now when they enter into this particular range, I is still 0. I is still 0, but this loop will then run. First j will be equal to 0, then j will be equal to 1, and so on and so forth. How many of you guys think that this is correct? How many of you guys think that this is correct, guys? This is where, see, you have to learn. Okay, you have to learn how to think as well. ऐसा नहीं कि मैं बोलते जा रहा हूँ and you guys are just doing that. Okay, you have to think. Will this work? What are we trying to do? Right? Will this work? Is this correct? Or is it incorrect? Are we going in the right direction? Are we going in the wrong direction? You have to think continuously. That is what programming is. So this is wrong right over here, guys. This is something that I just mentioned to make sure that you are alive. Okay, aisa na ho ki when you're looking at a lot of code, you are like, shit, I'm asleep right now. Okay, we don't actually require this. We don't actually require this, guys. Okay, so for I in range 8, okay, for every smaller list in the bigger list itself, we are going to run this code by replacing the first element right over here. We'll replace all the first elements right over here. I will replace there by an I. Okay, so I. The reason for doing this is because for every particular row, every particular column, every particular diagonal that we want to check, these numbers are going to be always fixed. It is always going to be 0, 1, 1, and 2. Because our smaller lists have a fixed size. We don't have a different size for the smaller list. It is always going to be the same. For every, what do we have to do? We have to check that particular scenario, that entire if statement we have to check for every smaller list. So what is the only thing that is changing? That is the index of the smaller list itself. That is, where is that particular smaller list present in the larger list? That is the only thing that is changing. The index of the smaller list, what is present inside of the smaller list, is always remaining the same, 0, 1, and 2. Because there are only 3 elements present in each of the smaller lists right over here. The only thing that is changing is the index of the smaller list. Okay, that is, where is the smaller list present in the larger list? That is the only thing that is changing for each of these elements. Are you guys able to understand? So what we need to do is we just need to put this if statement inside of this for loop and it's done. It's done. We are able to check if there is any kind of winner or not. Are you guys able to understand this? The only thing that is changing for each of the things that we want to check is just the index of the smaller list inside of the larger list. That's it. That is what we want to check. So that is what we will be coding right now as well. We'll code this right over here inside of our collab notebook. That is our analyze board. So we'll remove this from right over here and start writing the code. First, we'll create the CB board itself. Take a champions board, and that will be a larger list of smaller lists itself. That is 0, 1, 2, comma, then we are going to have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 0, 3, 6, 1, 4, 7. I think so. This is all right. 2, 5, 8, 0, 4, 8, 4, 6, 8. And we'll end it up with a. So we have created our CB list itself right over here. Come to the next line. For I in range 8, okay, that is our for loop. We'll check our particular thing itself right over here. That is this. We'll end it up. Just remove this. I have not yet taught this to you guys. So, what is the next thing? If somebody has one, what do we want to do? If somebody has one, if board CBI0 is not equal to 0, board CBI0 is equal to board CBI1, board CBI0 is equal to board CBI2. If that is the scenario, right? If somebody has one, what do we want to do, guys? We want to return the analyze board function will return who has one. The analyze board function will return who has one. So how to do that? By the value that is present at board CBI0, right? We have to return that value, guys. Minus x, for x minus 1 we have to return. We don't have to print the result, guys. We are not here to print the result. The analyze board is just telling us who has one mathematically itself. Mathematically we have to tell it, right? So x is represented by minus 1, o is represented by 1, so we have to return that. How to get this value? By the value that is present at the board itself. Board will contain, so if all these are the same, if all these 0, 1 and 2 are the same itself, then we can return any value right over there. We can return any value that is there, right? We can just do that. Return board CBI0. As simple as that. You just return whatever value is present at that particular board itself, at that particular index of the board. That's the person that has won. If nobody has won, if nobody has won right over there, guys, nobody has won. We have gone through all the CB. We have run through the entire for loop. Okay. We ran through the entire for loop for all the particular values that we have stored, all the rows, all the columns, all the diagonals. Nobody has won right over there. Then we'll just return 0. Either the game is not over or nobody has won. We'll just return 0 because either nobody has won or the game is still going on. Both can be the scenario. We can be in the middle of the game to check it as well. So either nobody has won or the game has not yet ended, right? In both the cases, we'll be returning a 0 back. That is what the analyze board function does for us. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Sort of in the middle of the game, if I am sending my board to the analyze board function, then as well it is going to tell me 0 itself. Why? Because the game hasn't ended. Nobody has still won, but the game is also not ended right now. So it is still going to return a 0 back to me. So right now, with just this particular code itself, we have completed our player versus player game, multiplayer game we have completed. Now the only player versus AI game is left. Let us first check the player versus player game. Okay, let us do that first. So let me remove this. To run the game, we will write main. We'll call the main function because the main function runs the entire game, guys. The main function runs the entire game. So we'll first run the main function to run the game itself. Let us run that. Name main is not defined. Okay, I have to run this particular code as well. I have not run that. Let us rerun this. Okay, so enter 1 for single player, enter 2 for multiplayer game. We have not yet coded single player game, so I'll just write 2 because we want to play a multiplayer game right over there. So this is the current empty board itself. I think so. There needs to be some spaces after the particular board as well. So we'll do that. Okay, don't worry about it. So enter X position 1 to 9, guys. That is the first particular thing that has been asked. Where do you want to put your X, guys? Okay, let's see that. Let's us play. Okay, so where do you want to put the X? At what position do you want to put the X, guys? At what position do you want to put the X at? Somebody has written, I want to put my X in hell. A particular thing that I can really relate to. Okay, let's put it at 5. Many of you guys are saying 5, so let us put it at 5. Enter O's position. So as you're able to see, this is the current state of the board. I think so. We need a lot of spaces. There's not a lot of spaces right over there. So we'll do that right now. Do not worry. So right now, we are having X in the middle. So it is my chance right now. So I'll put my O at 1. Then it is your chance, guys. Where do you want to put your X at? Where do you put your X at, guys? 3. You want to put your X at 3. So let's put the X at 3. This is the current state of the board. I'll put my O at the position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I will have to put my O at 7 right over there. This is the current state of the board, guys. I think so. It is pretty evident where do you want to put your X at. So I will be putting your X right over there for you. So you'll be putting it at 4. Then it is my chance. I will put my O at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6th position itself. Then it is your chance. Where do you want to put your X at, guys? Where do you want to put your X at? People are saying 2. Let us put it at 2. Then I will put my O at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Put my O at 8. And you'll put your X at 9. And as you're able to see, it is coming up as a draw. Now, one of the things that we have seen right over here is that although everything is getting printed out properly, the game is being played properly, there's a lot of spacing issue. We need to add a little bit more spacing in the code itself. So let us first do that. So enter current state of the board. We'll have to add a little bit more spacing on the top. Let us put some \n right over here as well. \n. That will add a little bit of spacing right over there. Also enter X's position. Let us put some space right over here. So \n, and we'll add some particular spacing here as well. And the same thing we'll do it with user2's \n, and we'll add some spacing right over here just to make it a little bit more like cleaner to look at. Right now it was not at all clean. Draw as well, we'll put 1 backslash, at least a little bit in the next line would be good. I'll just copy paste it for player 1 wins, player 2 wins as well. So now things will look a little bit more clearly, and they will be all be spaced out instead of coming up like one after the other itself. Okay. So yeah, I think so. You guys are able to understand how we have coded the entire multiplayer game. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know, guys. So today I'll be ending the class a little bit early. What I want you guys to do is I want you guys to write this entire code by tonight. Okay. There's not a lot of code, guys. Actually, it is like how many lines of code? 30, 40, 50 lines of code is there. I want you guys to complete this entire code by tonight itself. Only then you will be able to understand the major AI code that we are going to do from tomorrow onwards. Tomorrow we'll finish off the entire AI code itself. So I want everybody to complete this entire code by tonight. Okay, please, because see, it does not matter if even if you're not writing the code, it really, I don't really give a crap about it, because it is up to you guys. It is up to you if you want to do it, if you don't want to do it. It will be my suggestion that you should definitely write the code, because if you're not writing the code properly, then you're not actually understanding anything. Programming is by doing. Programming is not by listening, not by seeing, by doing. So if you're not doing this, if you are not practicing this, then there is no point. Okay? No point of doing anything else. And because tomorrow I have to start with the AI code, I want everybody to finish this off by today. Okay? Are you guys able to understand this? Please let me know. Again, guys, it is up to you. If you want to do it, it's fine. If you don't want to do it, it's fine. Okay. But if you really want to learn, you should be doing it on your own. Then only you will be able to learn it. Otherwise, बाद में है ना कुछ याद नहीं रहेगा. Although the code will be on your resume, although you might not even put, you will put a certificate on your resume, it will have no value if you don't have this code, if you don't know the code line by line, if you don't understand it line by line itself. There's no point on the certificate, there's no point on, but you have actually wasted your entire 5 to 6 days. Okay, always remember this, guys, always remember this. And you can, even if you don't have a particular computer, you can open up Colab in your mobile phone and you can code it right over there as well. Mobile is just a website, it's just like any website that you have used. You can do it from your mobile phone as well. There's no issues in that. But try it out. Okay, try it out wherever you're stuck. Google the solution. Try to Google stuff up. You will be able to find your solutions very easily. Do not use ChatGPT. Do not use any kind of AI. You are currently not working. You are not in a company right now. You are in a learning state. In the learning state, use Google as much as possible, because the more that you Google it, the more you will be able to understand stuff. The entire videos, all these live classes is already there on YouTube. Just go into our previous videos. You will be able to see all the recordings of all the previous videos itself. You can go over it. You can check out the code from the video itself and so on and so forth. You don't have to worry about that. Okay. Right now I'll be giving you guys the attendance. I think so it is day 6, right? I think so it is day 6. And please do not do DSA with Python, guys. No, you can do it. Okay, there's no harm of doing it. But my suggestion would be not to do DSA with Python. It is not a very good idea. Okay? Oh, it is 6. Sorry. Okay. For AI code, do we have to download and what AI or do download? You don't have to download anything. We'll be coding it from scratch itself. Do not worry about it. DSA, do it in either C++ or Java. Do not do it in C. You're not in college. You're preparing for interviews. Do it in either C++ or Java. That will be my suggestion for you guys. Okay. So right now I'm giving you guys the attendance link in the live chat. You guys can start filling up the attendance as well. The attendance link is in the live chat, guys. I'll be closing the attendance at exactly 9:04. You can start filling up your attendance. The attendance link is in the live chat. Why the index while playing the game is starting from 1 and not from 0? While coding, we did it from 0, Sanya, because if you go and check up the previous classes while taking input from the user itself, we have made some changes in the code. So the index, we are not taking up index from the user, we are taking up the position. That is a variable that we have created, and then we are negating it by 1 to get the index. So I think so you have forgotten about it, but at that point of time I had taught it properly. Okay. So fill up the attendance, guys. Exactly 9:04. The attendance link will be closed. We'll be meeting in our tomorrow's class and we're continuing from right over there. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye.